Welcome back to Mideast in Depth. Today we shall be considering what the increasing assertiveness of Persian Gulf states means for the regional security. Gulf News editor-at-large Francis Matthews states that an important challenge that the UAE faces is how to ensure that its multiple messages to the outside world are heard consistently. He writes, as the UAE, fights to defend stable and inclusive government in the Arab world, it is also seeking to diversify its economy into new strategic industries. He continues, the UAE has found its voice over the past 2 years as it has started to vigorously and regularly articulate its active support for inclusive tolerance and stable and transparent governance as the core values by which it manages its own affairs and will help promote in others. This is important as it defines why the UAE has taken such a significant role in the fighting in Libya, Iraq and Yemen. He states that it is a mistake to pigeonhole the UAE into either the file concerned with the fight against Daesh or the Asian economic boom. The UAE cannot be seen through either one or the other lens, and visitors to the country have to recognize that both files are very active and both are integral to the future of the country. He concludes that the UAE can only have a successful long-term economy with global partners in Asia and Africa if there are transparent and stable institutions and inclusive and open government. This is why it is fighting against Daesh in Iraq and is standing up for the legitimate government in Yemen, while also working with Egypt to provide a bulwark for national government, as civil wars and warring subnational groups based on tribes or sects have engulfed Iraq, Syria and Libya. Dr. David B. Roberts asked in the Daily Telegraph, what does the increasing assertiveness of Persian Gulf states mean for regional security? He states that the Arab Gulf states are increasingly asserting themselves across the Middle East as they are irked by the US pivot to Asia, insulted by how quickly America dropped the former Egyptian strongman Hosni Mubarak in the Arab Spring after decades of support, and incensed by American negotiations with their Shia rival Iran. He gives an example. In Libya, the UAE, alongside Egypt, used their fast jets to bomb Islamist militias to try to turn the tide of the conflict. The results, though hard to dissemble in the militia-swaddled failed state, appear to have been strategically negligible. He continues, more prominently, Saudi Arabia is leading a Sunni Arab coalition of 10 states against the Houthi rebels in the Arab world's poorest country, Yemen. He adds, a scathing but potentially accurate conclusion might be that Arab states could hardly do a worse job of securing the Persian Gulf region than America and its allies in recent years. But the bloody and ineffectual bombing campaign in Yemen hints that the approach of the region's indigenous states is hardly more refined or successful. He ends stating that the December 2014 announcement of a permanent British naval base in Bahrain is a symbolic gesture of solidarity from the UK amid these changing circumstances, now more than ever as the Arab Gulf states begin to edge to the forefront of maintaining, theoretically at least, regional peace. The British assertion of quiet influence in the Gulf states will be tested. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. And subscribe to Mideast in Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.